Good morning, Janet.
First of all, this is where I really want to be. So this is my greatest honor of everything. The rest was just studying. And it is because I'm very aware of what I don't know. That seems to be, my password in life. And I look at today and I see, it looks like it's going to rain. And so the sun is blotted from the sky. And it reminds me of the ancient book, the Egyptian Book of the Dead. There is a part of the book where the deceased speaks and asks for divinity to be present as light, saying that when the sun is blotted from the sky, let a small light shine to steer my feet. Let me bathe in light, let me walk in light, and let me feel the light within me. So that light will guide me on my way. And of course, they're being guided on the other life. And one of the beliefs that the ancient Egyptian had is an interesting belief because it's a spiritualist belief. And it's a belief that when we pass over to what they call the duat, or the other world, the amnet, that which is beyond the living, that we still have work to do. It's one of our principles. That whatever we do here continues. And another thing that's good is if we didn't exactly behave here and we passed over, we have to behave on the other side. And we have a life review. The Egyptians believed all of that, but they thought they were going to get around to the life review. And I know we have one member in the church who maybe feels the same way because he's purchased a Ushapti. Has anyone heard of what a Ushapti is? Ushapti is a small figurine that's made in the image of the person who died. And the thought was, if we make a whole bunch of these, they look like us. We call them, by the way, Ushapti, because Ushapti means the one who answers. So when we go over the other side and we're asked to stand up and answer for that which we did, when we're asked to do something in reparation, the Ushapti is supposed to say, here I am, I'll do it for you. Obviously, it doesn't work. So I don't look at the individual who bought one of those Ushaptis and say, it's not going, first of all, it doesn't look like you. So that's the problem. But what dawned on me also was that when I was growing up, two important things happened to me when I was only 14 and I was a freshman in high school. One of them was, I was very interested in going into music and arts. I sang opera, I wrote stories, I wanted to be a writer and an artist and everything artistic. The universe had other ideas as well as my parents. I was not going into the city to music and arts. I was going to go to a very fine, small, finishing all-girls school. Religious school, convent school actually. Best thing that ever could have happened to me. But in freshman year, I had Sister Mary Roche speak in science. I was very good in science, but I didn't want to major in it, that was for sure. And I had made a comment to the teacher that, in fact, I like seeing things from the outside, not the inside. Well, that was going to turn around. Because in class, she mentioned that it was a great discovery by Watson and Crick, this thing called DNA. And she talked about Rosalind Franklin, whose groundwork was really responsible for the discovery. And that's usually true in anything. We know Champollion as a name that discovered hieroglyphs. We forget about Jung, who was the Englishman who actually created the first alphabet and deciphered. So we end up having misplaced. And his sister is talking about this. And then, as we often do, she goes to the side and she's just having a thought. And she said, this thing called DNA, we're talking about RNA being its transcription of how the body reads what we're going to become and how we're going to produce our hormones and everything that we need. I wonder, she said, if we're ever going to find that that's where memory is located. Well, that 14-year-old girl who was going to sing opera, write books, and major in art, walked to her at the end of class and said, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to major in biology, and I'm going to find memory. And to that end, as dear Janet just read, I spent 10 years in medical research. And the joke was the universe who said, well, you're going to learn your biology, you're going to be in the lab doing electrophysiology of isolated cells, and you're still going to look for memory. You're going to go on, and you're going to study the psyche, which is what psychology is supposed to be about, the soul. And I'm still looking for memory. And I would say that each and every one of us that are here is looking for memory. Because you see, in every religion, Egyptians as well, we have a belief that in the beginning, we did have memory. We weren't dipped into the waters of forgetfulness. We had our connection, our ability to communicate with the divine for the simple reason that the divine is within us. Another belief of spiritualism. Not only do we pass over, but when we're here, we are carriers of the divine. Well, at age 14, something else happened. I was interested, obviously, in musicals. And there was one musical, and thinking about it last night, I said probably the reason why they brought it up to 14-year-olds, we didn't need much in setting. We didn't need much in costumes. And it was the Carousel. Any of you know the musical The Carousel? All right. It's only now, as an elder, I look at it and say, Rogers and Hammerstein, I wonder if they were spiritualists. And then the hermeneutics in me. And hermeneutics, by the way, is named after Hermes, the god of writers, the god of communication, the god of communicators. Those who do mediumship work with Hermes. Hermes allows the communication to come through. The Greeks ended up looking at Hermes and calling him Mercury. So he made the deliveries, and I think you see some trucks that are deliverers, and they've got a picture of Hermes on them. He's got the little wings on his feet. Okay, so he's an angel with wings on his feet, but a deity. Now, what's interesting about hermeneutics, and this is something for you really to wrap your head around, although we have Rogers and Hammerstein, who more than likely were not spiritualists, and I don't know, I didn't look it up, what they wrote in the Carousel would have been something divinely inspired. The fact is, we believe that anything that we write, certainly I believe, anything we speak and say is divinely inspired. Because we are only capable of bringing through that which is already there. So Rogers and Hammerstein may have thought they were writing a cute little musical that high school students are easily put on. They get some royalties for it. And they maybe didn't realize that somewhere along time, decades later, someone like me would stand up and say, the very name, the Carousel, the wheel of fortune, the wheel of life, the cycles of life. How symbolic. Every one of us has a cycle of life. They created a movie, and I don't know if any of you have ever seen the movie. The movie's delightful. It begins in heaven. And the main character that we know nothing about at this point is polishing stars. He happens to have a job that you shall be would have been doing for him, right? He is doing something not quite in the higher levels of heaven. You get that idea. He's sitting on a ladder, and he's got a chip on his shoulder. His life is about to change. And I say life, he's passed over, we know that. But here's a life review. And it's fascinating the way they show the life review. Because we have the overseer coming over and saying to him, by the way, they're having trouble down there. And he says, oh, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Oh, he said, well, it's your family. It's Julie. It's your wife and your daughter. Daughter? He didn't even know he had a daughter. He knew he had a child. And of course, being a big macho man, he thought it was his son. So now he's being told it's a daughter. He's tweaking. Something's happening to him. And the overseer says to him, well, you know, you can go back. He says, what do you mean I can go back? I'm only here. He says, well, no. He says, you see, as you move on, they may need help. And that might be part of what you need to do. And so as the spiritualist belief, we believe that those who pass over have a voice to still help us. They have a voice to show us not only are they alive, but we are not alone. They're actually with us. And here he is in this musical, which is supposed to be, just a light comedy. And you watch this macho man begin to change as he starts saying, well, I don't really care. Well, maybe now. Well, what's going on? And he begins to see a situation that he can still help with. And part of his moving on is going to consist of that. Now, what does it consist of? The true life review. And that's how the movie begins. So that we see the carousel, and he is at the carousel meeting his beloved, inviting people to come and ride and see the world. But once he marries and loses his job, his life goes downhill. And he ends up committing a robbery that ends up in his death. And so we have someone that perhaps his wife would worried about. Is he all right? He's committed a sin. Where is he? Is he in the burning fires of some hell that some religion talks about? No, he isn't. He's up there. Yes, the hell is his own. I don't care. Because he really does care. It really means something. And he's not going to pass on unless he helps the living. And that's interesting too, because what they show us is he has the ability to go back and to speak to his daughter. Not only that ability, he really be seen. And we know within spiritualism that we've had manifestations when people see someone that's passed on. And I can validate that happens. And it's a miracle, and it's not an ordinary miracle, that's for sure. It's a miracle, it's special. But he also has the ability to speak. And what is interesting is that when he appeals to his daughter, it's to his wife that he only speaks. And the reason being, and again, it's underlying, she has always believed in him. Even in the darkest of his hours of being a thief, not having a job, being a bully, she believed in him. And so at the end of this lovely musical, he brings a star from heaven to give with his voice of confidence to try to help them, to tell them, I'm still here, and to let Julie know she was right, to believe in him and that there was an afterlife, and an afterlife where there was hope. But it wasn't just for him. It was for those still walking upon the earth, so that they knew that they weren't alone. I have with me a prayer that came to a woman a few hours after she suffered the shocking death of a child. She'd lost the first child years before, but the second one was something that smashed her under. And each one of us that's here walks through dark hours. We walk through beauty. Like Eleanor of Aquitaine, we have our joys, we have our sorrows. And by the way, she was wife to 2 kings. She traveled the Crusades. She was mother of kings herself, certainly. Richard the Lionhearted was her son. She spent the last 16 years of Henry's reign as his prisoner. And yet, there was no bitterness in her. She said, the heights and the depths of life. That's what it teaches us. Well, I bring this mother up because in the darkness of her sorrow, the same way in the story, we have a story of a young couple and a death and a child, a mother that has to bring up a child without her husband, and yet she's given the gift to realize there is an afterlife. Her husband, who's committed a crime where some religions might say he was in a fiery place, he's in a place where he's got a life review and he is moving on, and he's communicating and helping. Well, maybe that was not the idea that Rogers and Hammerstein had in mind. But in hermeneutics, it means that like Hermes, each one of us can interpret the way the story comes to us. To me, it's a story that a spiritualist could have written. But even more telling is the truth that's written, and I will read to you, of what came through about 3 hours after this woman suffered the death of the second child. It's nothing less than murder. Lord, Lord, once you gutted me like a fish, empty and hollow to my skin. I could not swim. You carried me on currents. You set me whirling down the stream of life, swept away in roaring water. When I believed I could find no greater depths and could sink no deeper into the endless dark, I found that you were present. You regenerated my empty shell, and you remembered me. I found myself soaring high, far beyond any heights that I'd ever seen. Who could have believed it? That I could leap from liquid waves. How many of us have said that when something horrible, something tragic comes upon us? Leap I did, and sights did I see. I climbed upstream to places even closer to your warmth. And for a while, I bathed in golden light. I lived on the edge of water, and was up and rejoicing in heights. Yet, Lord, dear Lord, I'm now incinerated. You reduced me to ashes, no skin, no guts. How will I ever swim again? How can I grow new? And the Lord answered, child, dear child, have you seen nothing on your journeys? Have you not learned the truth? Do you not understand? As ashes, I spread you to eternal directions. You are beyond all form. You soar far beyond all heights and depths. For in darkness, I am your light. You navigate all currents. Child, my beloved child. And so in the midst of darkness, in the darkest hour, know we are never alone. And that through that darkness, that light shines within us that says, divinity is there. It's in the voice that speaks in the darkness. And sometimes that voice